Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your favorite software developer, Tyshawn, aka coldlabz on social media. In the last video, we talked about error handling and alerts, but in this video, we're going to talk about the DOM. The DOM stands for Document Object Model. Long story short, the DOM is a standard on how to get HTML elements and manipulate them. And why would you want to do that? I mean, honestly, it all depends on your purpose for wanting to use it in the first place. Well, when I work as a cybersecurity analyst for the school, I've noticed some children change the grades, or at least the DOM, to manipulate and trick the teachers into believing having an A instead of having an F. I mean, that's not a good thing, but at the same time, the children find a use for it. So if a child can find a use for it, why can't an adult? So let's go ahead and try this out ourselves. So let's go to jsbin.com. It's jsbin.com. Then hit enter on your browser. Alright, now that that's done, instead of clicking off the HTML tab like usual, let's leave that up, click off the CSS, and then let's bring up the console. Like I mentioned before, this is not a HTML course, but we're going to have to know a little bit about HTML in order to manipulate the DOM or elements within it. So let's go to the HTML tab, let's go down to where it says body, right here, let's type h1 ID equals chat, and inside of that let's write hello. Now let's close it with this / and h1. You see on the right hand side it says hello. Now let's go down one more line, let's type h2 ID equals fin. Now let's put hi, then close it with / h2. Now you see hi over there. For the last one, let's do p then ID equals yard, and inside of that let's write I'm a paragraph / p. So what h1 h2 represents, those are headers. The p represents a paragraph. That's kind of the reason why I said paragraph. This is something that you can keep in mind just in case you want to get an HTML later on. Alright, so let's go over to the JavaScript section. Let's type a variable. Let's do g equals 0. The reason I said g equals 0 is because we're going to need this variable to increment later on. Let's make an array as well. So let's do hq equals open close, then let's type heart, soul, life, hunger, and gun. On the next line we're going to do a equals document dot get element by ID, and in the inside of that let's put fin. The word fin is a reference back to this section right here where it says h2 fin. It's going to manipulate the element h2 fin and everything that's inside of it. Next let's do a dot add event listener, and then put inside of that click. The next thing you want to do next to that is a comma, then function, open close curly braces, and then type console.log and meow. So what's going to happen is every time you click on the word hi, it's going to say meow because the DOM has an event listener listening to it. The fin element now is represented by A and has an event listener attached onto it. So where do these event listeners come from? Let's go to the browser. Let's click on a tab. Let's go to a website. It's called w3schools.com. Once that loads up, on the left hand side you see this tab. It says tutorials. Click on that. Let's go over to learn JavaScript. Once your page loads, scroll down to the section where you see JS HTML DOM and click on DOM event listeners. If you look down in this example, you notice it says get element by ID, and their element was called my button. Ours is something different. What we're looking at is add event listener click. So the event is click. Once you click, the function display dates occurs. We can make our function do whatever we want it to do once you click on that element. Alright, so is click the only thing you could do? If you guys saying no, that means you're absolutely right. So let's scroll down to where it says syntax. You see that? Let's go over to where it says HTML DOM event and click on it. As you notice, where it says HTML DOM events, there's a whole list of different things that could possibly happen when you add an event listener. You see blur, can play, when you click on something, because that's what we chose in our element. We chose click. It says the event occurs when a user clicks on the element. But let's try something different. Alright, we scroll down a little bit, you see mouse move. It says the event occurs when the pointer is moving while it's over an element. Let's go ahead and get mouse move and go back to jsbin.com and type in mouse move. Now when you scroll over the element high, it says meow. But in order to see that, we need to bring up the console. So let's click up there as well. Let's go back to the element and you see it taking action. Now that we got that working, let's make another variable. Let's do b. So b equals document.get element by ID. And let's put yard because the p for the paragraph ID was equal to yard. Now let's put b dot add event listener mouse up, and then put function open close curly braces, then console dialog bark. So now if we go over to where it says I'm a paragraph and we click on it and look in the console, you notice nothing happens. But when we let go our finger, it says bark. The event listener that we're looking for has been activated once we lift our finger up off of the mouse, once we over the paragraph. And for the last one, let's put variable c. So c equals document dot get element by ID, and let's put chat. Remember that hello was chat. After that, we need to add an event listener as well. So let's do c dot add event listener mouse down, and then you gotta make the function. Let's add g plus equals 1, but we're going to do something different this time. So what if we want to change the HTML text to something different? What you do, you would type enter HTML. So C represents document.get element by ID chat, and that chat ID is a hello. To change hello, we'll put c.enter HTML equals and then a string or a number. Let's put c.enter HTML equals sword. If you click hello, watch what happens. Now you see it turns to sword. Alright, so let's go back over to C. Let's go to where it says c.enter HTML. Let's erase the contents of that. We're going to use the HQ up there. I'm going to show you something that I mentioned last time. In the previous video, I mentioned using math.floor and math.random. So math.floor is going to give you the nearest whole number, and math.random is going to give you a random number. So let's try this out in the console real quick. Let's do math.floor 353.3 to hit enter. After that, type math.random to hit enter. Try math.random times 10. Do it again. Press up. Do it again. Then do it again. We can even combine them. Let's do math.floor with math.random times 10. And now we get a whole number, a random whole number. And we can use this number to represent HQ. So we're going to do math.floor math.random times HQ.length. If you guys remember, dot length gives you the length of something. So the length of HQ is 5. So what this want to do is cycle through 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 randomly. So let's go over to heart. Let's click on that. You notice it changes to a random word within that array. So where does this +1 come in at? The purpose of this +1 is to show that when we click down on it, we can see the G increments by 1. So let's do console.log G, and watch what happens every time we click on hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The number keep on going. So let's wrap this up. We learned that we can use HTML elements along with JavaScript together. We can label an element, give it a unique identifier, take that same unique identifier and use it inside JavaScript as an event listener, and something will happen once you click on it. So in this next video, I want to do a project with you guys. Let's do a basic timer where you can have a stop button, a start button, a reset button, and you see a number where it increments. How do you think that could be accomplished? What do you think you could do to make that happen? I can think of a few different ways, but I'm going to walk you guys through it in my way. Hopefully you come up with the same type of idea. See you in the next video. Take care.